Welcome to a new episode of Hacks and Hobbies with your host, Junaid Ahmed.
Welcome to another episode of Hacks and Hobbies. So yesterday I was talking about um before I was talking about the event I attended, and today I'm feeling still psyched and hyped, but my voice is gone. Thank you, Tony Robbins. You made us scream and shout, celebrating and going crazy to change our state. If there was one word to describe the experience, I would say it was almost like a concert. You have to experience it yourself. Somebody can't retell what the experience was because when you're there, the energy is through the roof, and he is able to extract that energy from you or enable you to give more than you thought possible that could be given. And one of the reasons he's able to do that is the difference. I mean, he knows psychology. He knows the human physiology, the human psychology, what needs to be done to get the result that he wants, that the person would want, and essentially set you in the mindset of being. Um, there was a nice word towards the end of the presentation that I cannot remember, but I wanted to jump into talking about Gary Vee and the experience that I had with that. So, being in a beautiful state, because life is a beautiful state, and you want to live in a beautiful state where you are genuinely happy, genuinely willing to help people around you. So we're calling it life in a beautiful state because nobody wants to be in the opposite, which is the suffering state. But those suffering states are necessary so you can differentiate between the beautiful state. And as soon as you detect those suffering states that you're feeling, you can immediately bring yourself into a beautiful state consciously and effectively and see what's wrong and look at life in an analytical, analyzing fashion and know what you're doing with your body, know what you're doing with your mind, and what all of these states are doing to people around you and how you're behaving with other people. So that's something that you want to live with. Success is not having all the money in the world, but sure, it does help you get closer to there. I don't know where that came from, but just looking over my notes, it's a thought process, right? So, anyways, in my effort of taking massive action, of making the changes to find that success and find that peace, I need to do this consistently on a daily basis. And I think I've got a nice setup and a nice routine setup, which should help me to keep doing this on a consistent basis. Yes, Gary Vee also says, hey, if you don't, if you're scared to be on video, write or record, or do an audio podcast. So this is this going to be my effort in doing that. And it doesn't matter who's listening, doesn't matter if I'm heard, as long as I know that I'm putting out content, I know that I am speaking my mind and getting information saved somewhere so then I can go back and retrieve it. Talking about saving information that you're talking and go back and get it, there's an excellent app called Otter. And I discovered this app a few months ago, and it is just an amazing app. It runs on your iPhone or iOS device. I haven't researched if it runs on Android because, well, I don't have any Android devices to test with, but I'll do some research and find out if Otter is also available on Android. But it is simply the most amazing app. And just like Anchor, recording audio from your phone and publishing it up to the web, Otter does something very similar. You can record audio. You can have multiple people in the audio stream in the same room, and it'll essentially record the audio, upload it to its servers, and convert it to text. So you're essentially transcribing all that you're saying. So all of these words that I'm spitting out right now are then getting transcribed into text. And sure, not all the time, my words will be converted exactly to what I said because of my accent, because of the volume of my words or my speaking. It all comes down to, hey, it's a quick way to transcribe your audio, and that's an excellent way to convert all that I'm talking about into written format that I can later consume or later convert it into a blog post, essentially. And that's something I've noticed or I know of. There's companies that provide podcasting solutions where it will you submit them your audio files, they will transcribe the text, they will get the main points out of that, they'll even include links, and then all that text is then sent back to you so then you can use it in a blog post, attach it to that episode, podcast episode, and voila, you've got two mediums covered by a single medium of data generation. So that's what I plan on doing as well. So Otter is one app. There is actually Anchor has this really neat feature that if you have audio clips less than 3 minutes or up to 3 minutes, they can convert it into a video, a word video that you can then repost to other social media platforms. And what's cool is that you can select if you want a vertical video of text and audio, or if you want a horizontal. I'm not sure if they have a square version. That would be interesting. But vertical for Instagram stories and Instagram TV, horizontal video for the rest of the crowd, YouTube, Vimeo, LinkedIn even. Vertical video I've seen works well on Instagram, Facebook, even, well, it all started with Snapchat, man. Snapchat took that vertical video and they're like, we're gonna do this. Everybody's consuming our media on the phone, so why should it be horizontal that people have to change the state of their phones? Funny. All right, so that's all I had on Tony Robbins and how I felt and what I'm planning on doing in the future to keep this powerhouse going. Um, Next up, I want to talk a little bit about what Gary Vee's constantly saying on everywhere. So stick around. The Gary Vee audio experience. No, this is not that. But Gary Vee has a podcast called The Gary Vee Audio Experience. There's a lot of good stuff in it. It's a lot of the audio is repurposed from his videos, and there are some portions of it where Gary Vee is talking to you. So my experience of consuming Gary Vee content live, and one thing he kept mentioning is that do as I do, not what I say. And that is an excellent advice because you want to do what other successful people are doing. And that's what Gary Vee's saying. Watch what I'm doing and copy that and do that. So what is Gary Vee doing? Right? He is on every social media that you know of, and he's even on social medias that you don't know of. It's friggin' awesome. All right, it's friggin' amazing. And he's giving you the blueprint of what you can do and how you can do it. He even has a 83 page 83 page PDF document available that you can get from him from his site, which tells you how you can do it, how he did it. So then you can replicate it and do it yourself and see the results that he's seeing. Of course, Gary Vee is a big name. He's been doing this for many, many years. And one thing he mentioned is what one thing he mentioned was the intro in the intro that the host presented was Gary Vee took his dad's the wine um, warehouse company from a $4 million company to $60 million company. And later on, when Gary Vee came on stage, he said, "I could have taken that company to $250 million." And then he said what he did wrong. He said Google AdWords was just out. And sure, he played with it. He bought every single word that's related to the wine industry for pennies ad views, right? And he said if he had focused all of his money on just AdWords, that company would have been $250 million worth. But instead, he spent money in direct marketing. He spent money in uh, television ads, maybe. But he's saying that he made a big mistake. If he were to go back and do it, he would spend it all on AdWords. And it's really funny how he says it. He said, "I had the nuts in my hand on where to take it, but I gave them away. I didn't use it. Didn't use that information. But right now, in this time and age, August 23rd, 2018, what's hot right now, what's really cheap, underpriced, what's underpriced right now is Facebook ads, Instagram story ads, YouTube pre-roll, and there's one more thing. Damn it, I can't remember. But the main two ones that he kept focusing and mentioning about was Facebook ads and Instagram story ads. Guess what, guys? Instagram story ads and Facebook ads is all both owned by Facebook. Isn't that freaking awesome? The two most powerful ad platforms are owned by Facebook. That's just mind blowing, right? Anyway, so that's something he said you should focus on. If you have a service, if you have a product to sell, do it on these two platforms. Forget about everything else. Anyway, so I thought that was awesome. So he's saying that, and but is he also doing that? He doesn't need to do it. Maybe he's doing it, but he doesn't need to do it because he's already got such a huge organic following. I mean, anything he's doing is basically the Midas touch. People are just consuming his content and following him relentlessly. It's amazing. There was at least 50 people waiting in line to ask him questions after his speak keynote talk was done. But I think he only took 8 questions. And my buddy Roy Abdu, well, I can't call him my buddy because I've only known him for a few months, not actively, just passively. I was introduced to him by Rod Ferrier, my good friend and the local host of LinkedIn Local down here in Nova. And Roy gave the last talk at the LinkedIn Local event in Vienna, Virginia. So Roy got to ask a question or two from Gary Vee. So I'm interested in seeing if that video surfaces up on LinkedIn because Roy has his own guys filming him. Maybe they filmed it, maybe he filmed it himself. I can't remember. So I'm just kind of going off topic. Yeah, Gary Vee's talking about creating organic content, and his advice to basically everyone is if you have the time and the energy to do this consistently, do it for the next 2 to 5 years. Create content and focus on a niche market that you're absolutely passionate about. And some examples that he gave were if you love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Talk about them consistently every day. Post content, audio, video, whichever it is. Talk about this because in 2 to 3 years, you will be the expert and people will refer to you as the expert because you've got the most content on that topic. If you have watched any internet marketing videos or any any concept of what the internet is about, they all say content is king. And Gary Vee right here reiterates that, not in those same terminologies, but he says create content. That's it. Because content is king. Google, what does Google do? It brings up search results based on where that search term is the most prevalent. That's why Wikipedia comes up as a first result for any bizarre word that you might think of, because Wikipedia has that credibility now. You can say yes or no, but yeah, has nothing to do with hacks and hobbies, but it relates to hacks and hobbies because your hobbies is what makes you passionate about, that you spend that extra time to expand your mind by dedicating it to a certain hobby. So my goal is to again create content that's valuable, that's helpful, that's so niche that I could be called an expert eventually about something. So anyways, just a few words. Again, you can uh, check out Gary Vee's content on YouTube, the Daily V's, and he's got another channel called Ask Gary V. He's on every social media, so whichever social media you're on, look up Gary V and you'll find ton of content from him. Thanks for listening. This is Junaid signing off on this episode. Till next time, or tomorrow. I think tomorrow's gonna be the next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.